a rich man's world. I have turned the soul of this beautiful land, but the beauty a rich man's world. I have turned the soul of this beautiful land, but a rich man's world. I have turned the soul of this beautiful land.
Welcome you guys to the 16th episode of the Level Up Lounge. I'm your host, Jorge Murillo, and as always, thank you so much for being here, giving this a listen, and giving me a chance to speak into you. Before we start the podcast, I want to say if you've been watching my content, if you've been listening to my content, I would greatly appreciate it if you subscribe and you leave a rating to this podcast so the algorithm can push it up and reach the people that are meant to hear this. We both know that this type of content is more for the different-minded, if you will, people who want to achieve more, that want more in life, and I just want to rally all these people up and put them in one platform so we all can grow together. But moving on to the episode, today's episode is going to be a really good episode. It was actually a suggestion from one of my good friends named Albert, and he's the one that gave me the ideas. I had put the poll out earlier in the week on Instagram for people to give me ideas, and thank you for everybody who submitted their ideas. I 100% appreciate it. But this is the one that I feel like is going to help a lot of people at this time, especially kind of coming to the fourth quarter of the year. We are in November at the moment, and this is when people are crunching numbers, trying to meet goals, or maybe planning for the year ahead, 2025. And I think this is a perfect podcast for the grind throughout the year. And the title of the podcast is The Beauty in the Beast of the Grind. The name itself of the podcast, it has a lot of depth and a lot of meat behind the message of what I'm trying to portray here in the podcast. So the grind is, it's different for everyone, first of all. Everybody has a different grind. Everyone has a different purpose. My grind, it looks way different than yours. Your grind looks way different than mine. And that's because everybody else has their own life, their own experience, their own purpose they're chasing in their life. So first, keep note that everybody's grind looks different. However, the grind has the same tone. We are achieving constantly towards this goal or purpose we're headed towards. And the grind can be scary sometimes because in reality, the grind does not stop. And sometimes it can swallow you. And I know for myself, when I first started putting content out, I grinded every single day and I eventually burnt myself out. I thought if I'm going to want to be successful, then I have to allow the grind to consume me in a way and operate like a robot, like a machine. So I took that idea, I ran with it, and ended up hurting myself. In so many cases, I couldn't be present in any conversation with a family member or a friend or a activity that I couldn't wait for. I was always thinking about work. I was always thinking about deadlines, and it swallowed me up, you guys. And I do not want you guys to go down the same route. The grind is difficult, but the grind does not have to be painful. You do not have to sacrifice. Yes, you have to push yourself. Yes, you have to do things when you don't feel like doing it, but don't allow the grind to run you. In other words, don't allow your business to run you. You run your business. So the grind is a part of success, but balance is much more important for a long-term play. Have your days where you're grinding, you're doing work, you're getting stuff done, you're meeting deadlines, you're doing all this good stuff, but set days aside where you can play, where you want to play pickleball with a friend, or you want to have coffee or have a few drinks with a close friend of yours. Schedule days to have fun, schedule days to work. And I highly encourage you guys to plan out your week so before the week even starts, you already know what your week looked like. And that's a huge thing I learned throughout my journey thus far, is to balance the grind. Balance the grind. And it's kind of a hard system to find at first, but eventually after you keep doing this and keep figuring it out, moving pieces, time blocking the days in your week, then you can start finding somewhere and start getting the flow. So that's the first lesson when it comes to the grind. The grind is inevitable. We all have to grind. Everybody has a different grind. Find your balance in the grind so you won't burn yourself out. And have fun when you're doing the grind, because it's a fucking beast. The grind is a beast. It's something that has your attention 24/7. I know myself, I'm always thinking of different ways to create ideas, create offers, create content. But it's definitely something you have to love. You have to do something you love so you won't get burnt out. So that's lesson number 1 of the beauty and the grind. Going into our next topic, we have to go all in whatever we are doing. Guys, in this life, if you try to take a chance on a project, on a business idea, on a person, on a job, whatever that may be, you have to go all in on this idea, because if you have 1 foot in, 1 foot out, could you really say that this certain idea was not meant for you if you didn't give it your all? It's have a peace of mind when you're going to sleep after trying for months this certain idea, this certain business out. Giving it your all gas, no brakes, trying your best in this idea, in this path, in this business. Then you can tell yourself, it wasn't for me. And if you know, and you guys know for a fact when you're half-assing something, if you're half-assing an idea, a business, a pursuit, and you step away from it and decide that it was not for me, that idea of regret, of you knowing that you half-assed it, will definitely eat you up, guys. It's happened to me before, and I told myself never again, because I like to live life all in everything I do. And I highly encourage you guys to do the same. I go all in when I'm at work. I go all in my business. I go all in being a friend, and then go all in being a family member. You have to be fully present and give it your all in everything you do. And the grind demands you to give it your all. If you're not giving it your all, then why are you even grinding? Why are you even putting your effort and wasting your time on this project if you're not trying your best? So that's the first thing, guys, when it comes to even getting into the grind zone. Set what you want to do and give it your all. Dive into this idea. And that goes into our next topic, which is having faith at all times during the grind. Now, this is a tough one, you guys, because it's hard to have faith when we don't know if this idea is going to work. But that's kind of the idea of what faith is you're taking steps forward, not knowing if you're going to fall, but having the faith and trusting that something's going to come out of it. That is living in faith. Whenever somebody lives in fear, they don't take the next step. They already assume they lost. And automatically, they're just shutting down all their possibilities and opportunities coming their way because they live in fear. In faith it's fucking hard, you guys. It's fucking hard. But for my believers out there, God will not let you fall. He knows your heart. He knows your intention. He knows what you're trying to do, the good you're trying to do for the world. He will not let you fall. What brings me a lot of peace, that I can hope can bring you a lot of peace as well, is that God is the King of all kings, the creator of the universe. He created every single thing. If you think he can't snap his finger and make your dreams come true, then you don't have faith in him at all. God controls everything. And he would not give you something if he knows you're not ready for it. And that's where the patience in faith comes into play. When we're having faith, when we're working on ourselves, when we're grinding day in, day out, he is seeing that. And he is throwing obstacles at our way to sharpen us in the edges that we're not so sharp in. Have the wisdom to understand that, guys. Let me say that one more time so we can let it sink in. God is sending obstacles and challenges and hurdles your way so you can sharpen the edges that he needs you to be sharpened so he can use you for his purpose. Have the wisdom to understand that. Plant that in your head and walk with that idea everywhere you go. Faith is supposed to be hard because when you're walking in faith, you're walking the path of the uncommon. In all honesty, people don't like the walk of faith. Having the walk in faith it's the most courageous, the most brave thing you can do because you are willing to sacrifice everything, even if you have a blindfold on. That sounds crazy, right? Like, how could you have faith in something if you can't even see the end result? A logical mind would question that and rip it apart because numbers don't back it up. But you see, guys, God is not a number. He is everything. He's a spirit. He wants you to listen to your gut. He wants you to listen to your intuition. That's him talking. To take the step, to talk to that person, to take that business idea and run with it. He wants you to take these risks because ultimately, to get closer to God, you have to take risk. You have to have faith that this risk will pay off and he will be waiting on the other side, smiling, waiting to hug you because he knows your faith. And going to our next topic, it's all about God's timing, baby. God's timing, not our time. As much as control we want to have over our success, how soon we get a promotion, how soon we get our first sale, how soon we get this college degree. It's not up to us, guys. God decides when we get our goals, when we are rewarded. And also, his timing is the perfect timing. It's always the perfect timing when you meet that friend at this specific time or have a conversation with a friend and it turns out that everything you guys discussed was everything you needed to hear. I know you guys are exactly resonating with what I'm saying because God's timing never misses. So when we're talking about having faith in the grind while being patient, God is in the background pulling the strings. Think about it like this. We are in our vehicle. We see the road ahead. But God has the whole map. He knows exactly where you're going. He knows exactly what roads you're going to take, what dead ends you're going to hit, and where you're going to end up. So trust God's timing that he is going to guide you in the right direction because in all honesty, he wants the best for you and he loves you. He wants to make sure you become the best version of yourself so he can use you to bring more people to his kingdom. I have seen so many beautiful things in my life and so many spontaneous moments where I just honestly, I can't explain it, where he has paid his visit to me and dropped little breadcrumbs, letting me know that this is him, that he's talking to me. And in the beginning, I used to be so in shock. I'm like, wow, how did this even happen? But now, whenever I see another breadcrumb from God, I'm like, that's my man right there. That's the dude. And it's fun to have that relationship and just understanding his timing that if a relationship didn't work for you, if a job opportunity didn't work for you, a promotion, if something did not work for you, have the wisdom to understand that it's not meant for you. God would not hand you something to derail you and throw you off a cliff. God will discipline you. That's what he would do. But he wouldn't set you up for disaster because that's not him. God always has the answers and God always gives you your answers at the right time. So stay patient. Stay faithful to the idea that his timing is truly the most perfect time. And later on in life, whenever you start getting older, when we start getting older, we're going to start looking back in our lives and be like, oh, okay, that's why I didn't get that early. That's why I didn't get successful. I didn't get a lot of money at this age, because if I would have got it at that age, I would have spent it on a Hellcat. I would have spent it on a horse. That's random, but something. God knows us, y'all. He knows every single decision we're going to make. So he's not going to reward us thousands and thousands of dollars or millions and millions of dollars if he knows we're not ready for it. And that's all about God's timing. Have faith that everything happens at its right time on its own time. How I said in the beginning, we are on the road. We only see the road ahead. God sees the whole map. He will guide you to the places you need to be, and he will put you in destinations on his time, because we're learning, we're growing, you guys. As we grow older, we're starting to get more wise. We're going to start to understand the world behind us. And then he will be like, cool, you've been doing your work. You've been doing the things. You've been staying faithful to me. Let me grant you this. Let me give you this little blessing. Yeah, God's timing is the most beautiful timing. So having the patience to understand that is probably the most important thing that anybody can do. When you try to be in control of time and try to control the world, try to stop the things from happening around you, a relationship, and you keep fighting it. I want it to make it work, or I want this job so bad. I'm going to keep hitting it. I'm going to keep calling. You are resisting God's plan and his timing. You're not playing by his rules. You're trying to do it your own. You're trying to make it on your own, but in reality, you can't make it on your own because you only can do so much. God is in control. Let him be in control. And that goes into our next topic, and that is to stick and stay loyal to the idea of God's plan for us. The discipline to stay faithful, to stay loving, to stay giving, to be a servant, no matter what the fuck is happening around you, is a hard ask in a world, especially the world we live in right now. To be that light in a room full of darkness, to protect your mind, protect your peace, protect your happiness, and not only protect it and have it for yourself, but share it with others when other people are not being so happy, when people are being negative and trying to bring you down. God is watching you. He understands that you're going through battles, whether a colleague is being mean to you at work, or maybe your partner is not being so nice. Negative energy, you guys. As we talked about before in the podcast, everybody operates on different frequencies. Positive is the highest form of high vibrational frequencies. Negative is the lowest form. And guys, you can feel it. Gossip, toxicity, anger, stress, anxiety, all these things right here are all on the negatives. And that's the things that bring you down. That's the thing that make you make bad decisions when you're in moments like that. But when you're happy, when you're joyful, when you're full of bliss, when you're laughing, when you're happy, and just in general, you feel on top of the world. Because negative emotions bring the low frequency. High emotions bring positive frequency. That's the nature of the world. The law of polarity, as we talked about in our previous content. That's part of the most important thing that I can preach to you guys is stay disciplined to the idea of God. Stay disciplined to the idea of love. Because in moments where you are being challenged and you're being tested to, okay, are you actually a person of faith? Let me test you. And test after test after test, the grind is going to test you. Because the grind, you're not going to receive results, you guys. You are not going to see results fast. year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, it's not up to you, it's up to God. But to have faith, to be patient, to stay disciplined, of being a faithful servant. These are all hard things to do. These are things that a lot of people don't see. People think it's, oh, this person made it big overnight. There's no such thing as overnight success, you guys. Success is built day in, day out, with the grind, through faith, and through God. And another thing I want to say, you guys, is the long way is the fastest way of growing into success. The people that achieve success and try to take shortcuts, like let's say they're selling a product, but in reality it's a scam, or they're somehow pulling the string or pulling the rug below them and try to get money fast. They might have thousands or maybe even millions of dollars for the year, but in the long-term play, the man upstairs knows exactly what you're doing. He knows your heart, he knows your intention. And he, just as he can grant us our blessing in a second, he can take away our blessings in a second, because he knows our heart. And that's why I'm saying grinding through his way, the slow way, the long way, you guys. The path that people just don't want to walk. Everybody wants the fast lane, but the fast lane is a shivery, shaky road. The foundation of God, his road, will never break. Go this way. Stay patient. Have faith. And always show love. You have these 3, you are going to be a dog, or if you're a girl, a dogette. I don't know what the girl version of a dog is, but you are definitely going to be one of the strongest people in your community, in your family, in your friend group, and of the world. And we need more people like you. We need more people to hop on the train of God and grinding and pursuing success in the name of God, because it's a battle, you guys. It's a battle between the good versus the bad. The good soldiers will win at the end, because God will always win at the end. The enemy might have his moments. He might separate some people. He might even take some people into his kingdom. But we all know who wins in the end. And as a vessel for him, for my listeners, for my people watching me right now, spread this message to the people around you. Not only spread it, but embody what it means to be a person of faith with strong character, someone who is accountable, someone that shows love, someone that's disciplined and trusts God's timing and trusts that everything will be okay. Even if the world is falling apart, people are outside yelling, screaming, fires, all that. Have faith that everything will come back around into a full circle, because they are. You can't question God. He will always win at the end. On this road, God doesn't care about money. He doesn't care about the big house you live in. All he cares about is the person you're going to become. The grind is meant for you, specifically for you, designed, personalized for you to become the person you are meant to be, so he can use you and bring his people here on earth to him. That's the name of the game, guys. So embrace the grind, love it, understand it, and have the wisdom to control the things you can control and let go of the things you can't. With that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning into my 16th episode of the podcast. And I said in the beginning of the podcast, I would love for you guys to subscribe, share this on your Instagram story, leave a comment, rate it, send it to a friend, anything to push out the message. I love you guys so much, and thank you so much for listening to me. Love you guys, and God bless.
Beautiful, but the beauty a rich man's world.